Thank you for listening to Discovering the Scriptures with Dr. Peter-John Parisis. Currently, we're in Daniel chapter 7, verse 6, reading from the King James Bible. Quote, "After this I beheld, and lo another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it." Unquote. Let's compare this with the Young's Literal Translation. Quote, "And this I was seeing, and lo, another like a leopard, and it hath 4 wings of a fowl on its back, and 4 heads hath the beast, and dominion is given to it." Unquote. Comparing to the Septuagint, quote, "After this one I looked, and behold another wild beast, as a leopard, and it had 4 wings of a bird upon it. And the wild beast had 4 heads, and power was given to it." Unquote. All right, let's read this in context. This verse is itself its own paragraph. So reading Daniel chapter 7, verse 5 through 7. Quote, "And behold another beast, a second, like to a bear. And it had raised itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. And after this I beheld, and lo another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of its 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. And after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns." Unquote. Now it's Parisis. Remember, it's written in the Aramaic language. "After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast dreadful." Let's parse that. PL stem, casually written, and it's a PL participle. So this is an action or condition of unbroken continually. So continually, the beast is dreadful, and terrible, and strong, exceedingly, and it had iron teeth. It devoured, let's parse that. PL stem, casually written, participle, to be. And break in pieces, aphio, causes conjunction, participle, to be. So in break in pieces, causative. And stamped, PL stem, casually written, active participle, so to be, so casually written. And stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse. Now that's a pale stem. So that one there is an intensive form, and it's a participle aspect. So intensive. It was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. So that ends the parsing of this verse. When we're cross-referencing, now as you look at verse 6 in the Interlinear Bible, we look at that Daniel's talking about a leopard. How does Daniel know about leopards? Actually, in Persia, there are 2 different types of leopards that have its domain there, and it's very distinctive markings. So you cannot rule out that he did not know what leopards are, because he most certainly can. Now, I want you to look at this as, and has, was given dominion. In the Lineal Bible, masculine singular. So, dominion, sovereignty. It doesn't mean it conquered and had to reconquer. It was given dominion. So, it had dominion. That's all we know so far on this one. What does all this mean? We have to go forward. But looking just at the Interlineal Bible right now, we're seeing that it had dominion one time. So let's go forward. Now, we've done everything. Let's go ahead and look at John Gill's commentaries, so we can look at the ancient commentaries from 1700s all the way to present day that John Gill uses, some of which don't even exist anymore, except for scraps. So let's take a look. Quote, "After this I beheld, and lo another, like a leopard, another beast, another monarchy, a 3rd monarchy, succeeding the Persian monarchy, and which rose up on the ruins of that, Tshirts, king of the Persians, being beaten by Alexander, king of Macedon, who was the instrument of setting up the Grecian monarch here intended, compared to a leper, a smaller creature than a lion, signifying that this monarch arose from a small beginning, and a crafty one, Alexander, having many wise counselors of his fathers about him, though he himself was rash and hasty, and a spotted one, denoting the various virtues and vices of Alexander, and his inconsistency in them, sometimes exercising the one and sometimes the other, or rather the different nations. And the manners of them he conquered, of which this empire consisted, not to say anything of the cruelty and swiftness of this creature, which are both to be observed in his conqueror, which had upon the back of its 4 wings of a fowl, denoting the swiftness of Alexander in his conquest, who in a few years made himself master of the whole world, at least as he thought, whose empire was greater than that of Nebuchadnezzar and the Chaldeans, to whom only 2 wings of an eagle are given, in Daniel chapter 7 verse 4. I'm going to read that for you so that you can be reminded of exactly what it says. Quote, "The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it." Unquote. Continuing, says Jerome, quote, "Nothing was more swift than the conquest of Alexander. From Ilium and that of the Adriatic Sea unto the Indian Ocean and the river Ganges, he rather ran through the world by victories than by battles, and in 6 years subdued part of Europe, all Asia, even unto India." Unquote. To which may be added all Egypt, Syria, Palestine, Amaza being master of Iraq and Sardinia, which was thought inaccessible and impregnable. Alexander sent a messenger to him to demand the delivery of it to him, but among other things he proudly said, he asked the messenger with a sneer if Alexander could fly, which, when the messenger reported, nettled him much, that he should be insulted because he had not wings, and vowed that the next night he would make him believe that the Macedonians did fly, and accordingly they found ways and means to get to the top of it, which, when the governor saw, he declared that Alexander's soldiers had wings. The beast also had 4 heads, which signify the 4 kingdoms into which the Grecian Empire was divided after Alexander's death, under 4 of his generals, who were heads or governors of them: Macedonia under Antipater, or as others, Cassius; Egypt under Ptolemy; Syria under Sychus; and Asia under Anagonus, or as others, Lysimachus. And dominion was given to it, the dominion of the whole world, or however a very large dominion, and this was given of God according to his will and the ordering of his providency. For to nothing else can be ascribed that which 30,000 men Alexander should beat an army of 600,000, and with such a handful of men subdued so many kingdoms and nations, and that in the space of a few years. Unquote. This ends John Gill's commentary on this verse. Well, if you like this, please hit the like button. You can leave messages, comments. They are all having to be approved because too much spam and pornography is trying to get in on this. So I've made it so that all comments have to be approved. And then please tell others about this. If you go down below, you can hit the subscribe button, so it'll tell you about more that's coming up. You can hit the bell button and put in that you only want to hear Discovering Scriptures if that's what you desire. Also, we're looking for partners. We're trying to make it through the Bible in 10 years, verse by verse commentary, audibly, never done before, and I'll need partners to do so. So if you'd like to give $5, $10 now or monthly, that'd be greatly appreciated. Go down to the description. It'll tell you how you can donate however much you want to. God bless you, and looking forward to seeing your comments